Another unreal day today. Sun's out, Saturday, beautiful afternoon. So just gonna take you guys with me on a ride. Not sure what we're gonna talk about, but if my in-helmet mic works, that'll be a bonus. It's not been great quality, so I'm waiting for another one to come, and I'm just gonna use the ones that I've got for kind of like the video I did last time at my desk, just kind of talking through stuff. So yeah, let's get out there and see where we can go. Actually, in fact, I know exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to take you on a ride on the Lexmoto LXS, and I'm going to give you a walk around and my thoughts on the bike after owning it for about a month. So I've done a fair amount of miles. So yeah, she's looking clean, so good a time as any, I guess. So we'll go out and do that. So yeah, let's go. Just a quick one before we get into the video, guys. I've set a goal to get 1,000 subscribers in 2025. I plan to keep putting up the videos, following my path to my full motorcycle license, and giving as much advice and sharing as much of the knowledge I pick up along the way as possible to help anyone else going through the same journey. So if you could, please help me reach my goal of 1,000 subs by the end of 2025. It would mean the world to me. It's free to do, and every single sub I get gives me that little bit more motivation to carry on. Anyway, thank you. Let's get back into the video. Hello everyone. Welcome back to License to Ride. So today it's just one of those ones. I'm going to go through my experience of my Lexmoto LXS 125 after about a month of ownership, and since I've had this bike it's been nothing short of perfect. I look forward to every single time I get to throw my leg over it and get to go out some back roads. It genuinely brings a smile to my face. Now, although it isn't the most powerful 125, with the 4-stroke single-cylinder liquid-cooled engine only producing 13.8 brake horsepower or 10.3 kilowatts at 8,750 RPM, it's got 11 newton meters of torque. It delivers the power fantastically well. It's smooth, and for what it lacks in power, it definitely makes up for in looks. It's got a 6-speed manual gearbox, 6th gear basically just being a sort of overdrive gear. It can sit at 60-65 mile an hour without having the engine completely screaming at you because of that 6th gear, which makes for a better experience if you do find yourself on a busy A road with cars flying around you. That being said, being on a 125, you should note that actually getting to 67 mile an hour mark may take you some time, so being on an A road while the engine not screaming at you makes it a better experience. You've still got that challenge of getting up to sort of A road speed, if you will. Along with that perky 4-stroke engine, you get this lovely unique rear exit exhaust that honestly sounds great. It's not stupidly loud or obnoxious, but it does have a lovely low growl, especially when you're coming down the gears in town and sort of rev matching. It does have this sort of low grumble that's really, really nice. This gives the bike a little unique twist as well, and it makes the bike feel a lot more balanced around corners. With that centre mounted exhaust, it just feels like you can chuck it round and there's not this big can hanging off of one side. I really do love that about this bike. The rear exit exhaust is kind of one that you only really find on big bikes, and that's another thing that the LXS is really good at, is giving you big bike feel. It was really important for me when I started looking for my first bike, because I'm 6 foot. I didn't want to look silly on a smaller capacity bike. So throwing my leg over this and it not making me feel like I was sat on top of it, I was more in the bike, and my leg position was really nice. The seat height is only 790mm, so it sounds really low, but honestly once you sit on it and you're in position, it is perfect, and you've still got a bend in your leg when you're touching the floor, so it's really easy to paddle around and stuff. But it being a sports bike as well, I was quite worried about the posture of it, but actually, to me at least, it gives more of a sports tourer feel, because you can sit kind of upright and back, and it's not putting so much weight on your wrists, and that was really important to me as well. I didn't actually want a sports bike, but sitting on this, I felt really comfortable. So yeah, that's another good thing. And I've also planned a road trip because it doesn't hurt my wrist at all. I can spend a lot of time on the bike. So me and my friend are going to do a 125 road trip just before we get on our big bikes around the next month or so. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video, because it is going to be good. We're going to go all around the Norfolk coast and just kind of dip in and out of Norfolk's sort of little villages and seaside towns, and just get a real feel for the first adventure on a bike. So yeah, if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe, because that'll be going up in sort of a month or so. But moving swiftly on, and I've already touched on the looks a little bit, but this bike looks incredible. I have it in the matte grey and fluoro yellow colour, and for a 125 it actually does turn heads, there's no denying it. It looks like a bigger bike, and with those LED daytime running lights and that aggressive looking front, it just looks really mean coming down the road. And the LXS also comes in blue and black livery, which I'll put up on the screen now. And I think that still looks great, but I would always go with this grey and fluoro yellow kind of colour, because it just stands out. It makes it really, really stand out. And I think also because it's got that fluoro yellow on it, it does make you stand out a bit more on the road in terms of to other road users. So that again is a massive tick for me, because it just made me feel a bit more safe. And I don't know if that's actually true, but yeah, just the big yellow bright bits on it, I just feel like that's got to stand out a little bit more than if it was, say, all black or something like that. So yeah, big plus in that department as well. Next, I just wanted to touch on a few more specs, just to kind of give you a bit more of an overview before I start talking about my personal experience. So starting with the brakes, on the front we have two hydraulic discs at 299mm and a rear hydraulic disc of 240mm. Now these are great, much bigger than you normally find on a 125, and it's definitely more than you need, but it gives you great stopping power when it is needed, and for a learner bike that's kind of all you can ask. And it has a specific way that the brakes are set up, so if you're tapping the back brake, I think it will enable the back disc and the front left disc, so you've got a bit of both on the braking. And I do like this at low speed. It is nice to use the back brake if you're coming to a gentle stop. I just like the way it feels when it slows down. But next we have the wet weight, which is 155 kilos, so it is a fairly heavy bike for this category in the 125s. But I feel like this feeds more into that big bike feel, and for me, paddling it around and maneuvering it, it's absolutely no problem at all. And with the lower seat height, actually, it makes it really manageable when you're sitting on the bike to sort of move it around, which I really like. The fuel capacity on these bikes are 10 litres, but with the average claimed MPG being 87, there should be more than enough for sort of day rides out without the need to stop every 5 minutes to fill up. And actually, in fact, I find that I get slightly more than the 87 MPG if we're working it out by how much we're putting in and how many miles we're doing. So yeah, I find I'm closer to sort of 95 to 100. But then again, I don't necessarily rag it completely all the time, so you know, your mileage may vary. And finally, the claimed top speed of the LXS is 69 miles per hour. I have seen 72 to 73 indicated when on an A road. I also know that down low, and this might be the first drawback I've found in the bike, is that the speedo tends to be a little out down low. So actually, when I'm on a 30 miles per hour road, I need to sort of be indicating 35 to 36 to set off those road signs that are on the side of the road that you get that flash up and tell you your speed. So if I'm doing 35, 36, it'll normally tell me I'm doing sort of 31, 32. So yeah, I don't know if that's accurate with the 70, 72 mile an hour sort of indicated, but take it for what it is. And finally, I just wanted to talk about sort of probably the most important thing. That is how it feels to me personally. Now, I'm a big advocate, if you watch any of the other videos, of learning on a lower capacity bike and being on a 125 and sort of getting your road sense from that. And the lack of power in this might be a bad thing to some, but for me it's more than fast enough to keep up on A roads or the back roads and to have a little bit of fun with. But even around town, it's just perfect. Like, it doesn't skip a beat. It gives me the best feelings possible. Even though you haven't got all that power, it just somehow makes it really fun. And even when you get off of the bike, it's one of those ones where you do look back a little bit. I'm sure if you're a bigger bike rider, that sounds ridiculous to you because it's just a little 125, but this to me is obviously the start of my motorcycling career. It's the first bike I've owned, so I have absolutely fallen in love with it. And initially when I was thinking about getting a 125, I just thought it would be a bike that I can just get by on just until I get to that big bike. That's all I'm thinking about. But actually, I've kind of taken a step back and started to enjoy this part of my journey, I guess. Just to sit back and know that I haven't got all the power, but just learn and enjoy it and try and soak it all in. It really is a bike that gives you all of the good feelings on low power. It's just fantastic. I love going out and riding it. When it's sunny like it is in this video, it's just perfect. And I would recommend this bike to anyone starting out who wants a big bike feel, a little bit of power to play with, and just being able to chuck it around corners. It's got nice big tyres on it. It looks like a big bike. You can lean it right over and it's just faultless. I love it. It's cheap. I think the brand new on the road cost for these at the moment is $2,500, but I would not recommend buying new if you're buying a 125 just to get by until your big bike license. But even though they're cheap to buy, they're even cheaper to buy second hand because they don't hold their value very well, so that's another drawback. But also, if you're just looking for a bike to get by on, then fantastic. It works out great for you because you can buy it fairly cheap. I bought mine for around £1,300, and all I've done to it is oil change, oil filter change, and a new chain, and it's been faultless. It starts on the button, it goes when you want it to. The throttle motion is really good. It's not janky or doesn't try and pull you back or anything. So yeah, if you're looking for a decent bike that's budget, but you can have plenty of fun on and chuck it around corners and do all those sorts of things on and get out and explore on, the LXS is absolutely perfect. And I'll leave the video here. I'll leave the footage rolling in the background because there is a nice part coming up. So just enjoy the ride, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. And please don't forget to sub and like. It really does give me that boost of motivation to keep making these videos. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Life up in the fast lane. Hey, living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you limits, you just put them in Coronas, Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus, the bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. Fast lane, living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Losing track of time, but it's always on my side. Hit the still to feel the vibe. On my mama, I'm so live. Popping bottles around 9, and them ladies about to slide. Hey, I'm just living live. I'm just living live. Hey, rolling. Don't know if I'm coming or I'm going home for the summer in Miami.